In this session, I will introduce you how we could use Shapr 3D, which is an iPad CAD application to do 2D drafting and 3D modeling. What's kind of cool about Shapr, besides being mobile and an iPad, is it has the precision of AutoCAD, and for us in interior design, it has the ease of SketchUp, but the precision of AutoCAD, something SketchUp simply doesn't have. So you can get it from the App Store. Then when we go to the app, after it's installed, you can tap on Start Designing, upper right corner, click on New, and then it will ask you, for example, to do the trial. I click on Not Now and close, and then go to Settings. We can also go to Login, and that's basically what you want to do. Create an account. Use your Wayne State email address for education because, let me quickly log in. As you can see now, when you logged in with your academic email address, then we can apply for an academic free license. And this is fantastic. I logged in with my professional account. You can see my interesting license expiration date, January 14, 2365. I'm with the program since the beginning. So let's take a look at how it somewhat works. At the bottom we have Discover, Design, and Learn. Under Learn there are a lot of tutorials you could use. Be aware of when you watch many of those, the voice will be very familiar to you. Under Designs, these are all our files. The nice thing about Shapr is when you edit a file and then you leave it, Shapr automatically saves for you all the time. It's kind of cool. Here, when we go to Edit, there we can select files, delete them, rename them or so. When we click on the name, nightstand, we can give files a name, etc., and so forth. And we start a new file now at Start Design. And I will open the file for our plan view. Very good. And in Shapr, we will focus on the main room of our space. And you see here, I created the whole area. When it comes to 2D drafting, Shapr is like AutoCAD in terms of precision. Super easy. The interface is really made for drawing. And for 3D modeling, Shapr is actually more like SketchUp. Very easy to use. It just has everything SketchUp does not have, and that is precision, which is why Shapr as a mobile design tool is actually really good. And nicely, everything we do here, we can export to AutoCAD or SketchUp. Okay, so let's start with a new file. What do we start first with? Okay, upper right corner, there are three icons. First is the world view. With a finger you can go onto it and rotate, or with a finger you can tap onto the name like top, and you see the view then aligns. With one finger we can rotate also our view. With two fingers we can pinch or not pinch, we can zoom in and out, or with the fingers moving around. Now we pan. Then you see on the upper left corner 1 inch. If you tap it, this is where we have the unit system. Millimeter, centimeter, meter, inch. We can also go with feet, and then we can switch between decimal or architecture. All the measurements I have are in inches because they come directly from the Miro board where we have the screenshots with all the dimensions there. Note about the dimensions, Those are not 100% accurate. When I had limited access, I tried to quickly get them. I tried to approximate also some of the dimensions based on the 3D scans I created. This is all fine. Everything what we're going to do is develop a concept, a proposal for them. We're not creating the actual construction document. So we're kind of like in the first initial phase of coming up with ideas. Very good. So lower right corner, we have icon for preferences. If you want to set up the language, if you left or right-handed, for example, etc. Then the magnetic icon, that's for all the snapping things. Lower left corner, undo redo, and the folder system. AutoCAD still kind of like works in layers like Photoshop, but in 3D space we don't have layers. It doesn't make any sense. So the better tool is actually folders or groups. Then on the left we have tools and transform command, not all the standard stuff, add construction lines, construction plane, and sketch. This is where we do a lot. And then on the upper corner, this icon with the 4 images, when we click on it, then we're back to the gallery view. And file down, sorry, arrow down, arrow up. File is German. It's actually import and export. And for here, intro, tutorials. What do we have there? Oh, I'm curious who made all these videos. When you watch those, you will remember this voice. Most of them are made by me. I do not have any affiliation with the company. I just work with them a lot to create the educational material. Since for me, this is a very interesting technology to work with, particularly as a mobile person. Like when I go into a space, I take dimensions. I could write this down on paper, work with a laptop and a mouse and keyboard and try to do this in SketchUp, or I do this on an iPad with concepts and a pen, and that is such an amazing experience. It's perfect. Okay, enough talking, more modeling. How do we get started? With a finger, tap onto a new sketch and then go here, line arc, tap onto it, and we just want to by default make a line. Very good. We have grid snapping turned on. Very nice. And let's do some lines. You see, with your pencil, you can just draw it. It's like drawing on paper. If you want to move a point with the pencil, you click on the point, and then via the arrow keys or the center point, we can move this around. You also see there are snapping targets. So it works in many areas, very similar to the way how SketchUp is. Perpendicular, tangent, perpendicular, horizontally aligned, diagonally aligned. No? This is where all these guides are coming from. Super good. To delete something with the pencil, we simply tap onto them and then press delete in the toolbar. Okay. So the way how we're going to do the drafting here is kind of like an AutoCAD. We work very precise, but we will actually do the dimensioning a little bit more precise. We will do this, or not precise, we will do the dimensioning via constraining the sketch. This is also something you can do in AutoCAD. Most people in interior design actually, or architecture, don't do. In Revit, interestingly, then they do it. So what does this constraining mean? You see on the right side, there are some interesting icons. Auto constraint, show constraint, parallel, perpendicular, tangent. What does all this mean? Make a line. Make another line. Select these 2 lines. And then say, be parallel. You see? They're parallel. So the constraints make sure these lines are parallel. When you tap on the line, oh, interesting. We can say this should be 30 feet. or inches. Make this decimal. Okay, I can select these two lines and make them equal. Look at that. You see how the software does actually a lot for me. Pretty cool. We can also give lines interesting features or behaviors based on how we move them around and what type of constraint we set up. Let's draw a line down and a line this way. Okay, this line should be horizontal. Well, I could go to the grid. I could simply select the line and then on the right side say be horizontal. This line could be vertical. Or, undo, I could say be 90 degrees. Let's say I have a line that should always be 130 degrees. There. Make another line, and here this should also be 130 degrees. Now, this line maybe should be 20. 135 and 135. Because that makes 270, and this line now is vertical again. Draw a line over. Oh, look, there. Finds the height. Boom, there we are. We want to offset this. We can select all these lines, go to offset loop. Yeah, this is correct. Tap on this and then make an offset. Rotate our view, and like in SketchUp, we can select the fill and just extrude it up. So you see, super easy. Select a face with a finger, double tap onto it. We started drawing on this face now. Draw something up, draw something there, draw something down. 2 fingers pinch out, 1 finger rotate, select the fill, move this in, there's a cut. Super. So here's something where now SketchUp is bad at. Look at how clean these arcs are. Nice. And we can even select this and let's say, oh, it should be 5 inches. I just realized that this model is kind of a funny dollhouse. It's maybe for an ant. Okay, I mean, this is just only very basic drawing exercise, just to give you an idea how this works. And in the folder system, there you see it starts creating and naming all these objects for us. With a finger, we can select each one, or with the pencil. There's also a way to swipe to the left, and then we can delete it. Each one. Okay, good. Now, with all this quickly looked at, let's get started and draw the actual plan view of the room. So we go to top view. Go to sketch, line, very good. And from the center, I draw a line up. This point I never want to move, so I lock this. With the pencil, I clicked on the lock. This line should be vertical, so I select the vertical constraint, and this line should have a length of 684 inches. 684 inches. Whoa, that's a long one. Okay, very good. Okay, this is actually the north wall, so we have to rotate this line. Now we can't do this because we made this line being vertical. We can, with a pencil, tap on a constraint and then there's an X and delete it. Now I can select this point and rotate the line. So you see how I'm not using a rotate tool. I simply rotate it around the pinned point there. There. Okay, so the next line we have is, we draw this one down. Let's make this a little bit dirty one more time so you can understand how cool actually the constraints are. So there we add the dimensions, and you, they should be all vertical. Sock. Very good, no? Easy. And then here we have one line. This is 135. I just tap two lines and then I get the angle. Draw here a line, select this line with the pencil, and 135. I created two lines here, that's not good, so let's delete it. And we just draw a new line, horizontal, and then here we have the correct dimension. This should be 108. And you see by changing this dimension, it changed also the position where this line is. I hope you start noticing actually how easy it is to use this program. So, and then let's connect it this way. This line is actually angled. It has to be vertical, so vertical constraint. I could give this a number, but if I type in 700, that doesn't work. And that is because, well, we make this line vertical, so it cannot be bigger or smaller. With 700, then it would look like this. I can also not make this vertical right now because I locked this distance. To remove this a length, simply click on this lock icon one more time. And there. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now, how do we do everything that goes around it? That's easy. Let me draw a line. Let me draw a line. And then you and you, we make them simply parallel. You and you, we make them parallel. Or I could also have made them vertical or horizontal. Then if I select these two lines and look there I have a dimension constraint. Let's type in 12. And I'm simply guessing this number that this is the cinder. They have like cinder block and brick walls. I know that the north wall, so this one is actually only cinder block, and this I'm not 100% sure. It seems to be interior cinder block and outside is actually a brick wall veneer. No, let's draw this one down here. And then here we draw a line, there we draw a line. Here, these two lines I selected, there it is, this dimension. Can drag this one down to there so it makes more sense. And then here, these two I select, there's this dimension also, 12. Cool. I made these two parallel. Here, this is also parallel. Okay. Now this, we can move this to there. And now I draw a line like this. Okay, so this line I would like to be parallel like this line. Okay, select them both and parallel. Now I can move this only along being parallel. Check this out when I make this 130. How everything, you see the other lines moved with it. Pretty cool. Distance here, we set this to 12 too. And then there's a trim command. Zup, 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 zup. And okay, I can now move this. This is not ideal. Because of the trim, the constraints were gone. So let's make this parallel again. And here, 12. Oh, this is interesting. You and you. That's a really thin wall, 12. Very nice. Okay, so, oh, here actually a dimension disappeared too because of the trim. This was actually new to me that this happens. Okay, very good. Now this line we can move to here. We just connect it to there for the moment, and then this we bring to there. Good. Okay, let's say this is the way how this looks right now. Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of like the first introduction video, how to put down just the basic lines for this plan view of the main room of the Glow project.